Students, have you all? I hope you all studying very well. You are utilizing the maximum your time in the study. Okay, and last class we have discussed regarding what is the nursing care in the electrolyte imbalance, isn't it? No, hypernatremia, hypernatremia, hypomagnesemia, hypermagnesemia, and all, isn't it? No, and today this class will start a new topic in the same unit. Okay, that is the nursing care of an unconscious patient, or the care of a patient with a unconsciousness. Okay, so now in this class we'll see what do you mean by unconsciousness, what are the causes, and what is the role of a nurse in the unconsciousness. Okay, how to treat the patient. Okay, let's start. Before knowing unconsciousness, we should know what do you mean by consciousness, isn't it? What do you mean by consciousness? See, the consciousness means a state of awareness of yourself and your surroundings. What is happening within? Okay, how I'm feeling, isn't it? No. So that is the state of awareness of one's own self, as well as we have a sense are in surrounding also. What is happening morning or evening, or what are there, isn't it? No, all the awareness we have, no, that we call consciousness. Clear? See, this is a state of awareness of yourself and your surroundings that we call consciousness, or we can say ability to perceive the sensory stimuli and respond appropriately to them. What do you mean by that? See, ability to understanding the sensory stimuli, and based on that your understanding you are responding to particular thing. For example, you think, okay, see, you are watching, what is that outside the wall, you are watching, this is dog, then your brain, you are perceiving what is this dog only, isn't it? No, otherwise you are considered as a cat. No, right? So the ability to perceive the sensory stimuli through the eye you are sensing, isn't it? No. Or other example you take, for example, if you are observing one lion, you think, okay, in the jungle you are you are watching one lion, it is coming towards you. What your response? You are running away from that, isn't it? Your running is a response. You are perceiving, oh, lion is coming towards me. For that you are responding, that is, you are running from that particular lion, no, that we call responding. So that is indicates your consciousness. Suppose you think some unconscious patient with you. If the snakes come also, is the same condition only. If that person watching some what is that, whatever, okay, understood, no, whatever, the snake also, other the lion also, whatever, the unconscious patient doesn't feel anything because his unconsciousness, you are not at all having any awareness about self also or surrounding also. That state we call unconsciousness. But we have some awareness oneself and the surrounding, and we are giving the particular response to the particular things, no, that we call consciousness. Clear, no? Okay, now we'll see what do you mean by unconsciousness. Unconscious is nothing but is abnormal state, isn't it? No, is abnormal state where the client is unarousable or unresponsive. Unarousable means what? You're not at all having any sense to surrounding environment. Also unresponsive, no response from the patient. Okay, that we call unconsciousness. If the degree of unconsciousness is go to severe, that condition we call coma. Okay, so unconsciousness is symptoms rather than disease. We not treat this is a disease. No, this is not a disease. This is only a symptoms. And the degree of unconsciousness that vary in the length and severity, isn't it? No, if we have light unconsciousness or the brief unconsciousness, we termed as fainting. If the patient have prolonged unconsciousness, then we termed as deep coma. Clear, no? This is we call unconsciousness. What are the causes for unconsciousness? We'll see now. Okay, we have like the structural or the surgical unconsciousness, and one side is a medical unconsciousness, means depending upon the structure, having some the patient need for this surgical unconsciousness means was due to some trauma, okay, or the epidural or subdural hematoma, or the brain contusions. These are all the brain injuries, okay, brain contusions, brain concussions, hydrocephalus, the water collections surrounding the brain, okay, stroke, and due to some tumor in the brain. So these are all the medical conditions. Okay, you just have an idea of this. You should know the terms. In depth, you study in the next year. Clear, no? And what are the medical unconsciousness? We can say infection. Okay, infection to the brain, or the meningitis, inflammation of a meninges, encephalitis, inflammation of the brain parenchyma, hypo or hyperglycemia, and hepatic encephalopathy. Hepatic means what? Related to the liver, due to some liver problem. Okay, because of the liver is unable to excrete the toxic from the blood that indirectly damage the brain, that we call hepatic encephalopathy. Hyponatremia. What do you mean by hyponatremia? Last class is over, no? What is hyponatremia? Is nothing but having a decreased sodium level, that is less than 135 milliequivalent per liter. That condition we call hyponatremia. Okay, due to that hyponatremia also we can have the unconsciousness. Okay, and due to some drug and alcohol overusing of analgesic, overusing of some sedatives, that all causes this unconsciousness. Clear now? These are the causes. Okay. Now we'll see what are the signs and symptoms now. See, the person will be unresponsive. Okay, doesn't respond to any activity, any touch, any sound, or other stimulations. That means what the person condition is totally unresponsive. Okay, then also is unaware of his surroundings and does not respond to the sounds, and makes no purposeful movements, and does not respond to the any questions or any touch. And sometimes the patient have the confusion. Okay, drowsiness is present, inability to speak or move the parts of his or her body, loss of bowel and bladder control, respiratory changes sometimes happen, and abnormal pupil reactions. These are the signs and symptoms of unconsciousness. Clear? Now we'll see what are the management. Okay, we have so many types of management, like a medical management, surgical management. Okay, those management you will learn in the next year, but in this year you should know nursing management. What is a nurse's responsibility in the unconscious patient? Okay, see, remember, for the unconscious patient, no, you have to give it to food care. Just you consider, one patient is there, he was in the bed. Okay, he or she in the bed in the unconscious state. He can't do his own personal things, isn't it? No. So what the nurse have to do? It to food care is her responsibility. As a nurse responsibility, she have to give whole care, complete care, isn't it? No. Have to give bed bath, caring of the hair, caring of the eyes, caring of the nose, isn't it? No. Caring of the skin, and also maintain the hygiene of the patient, maintain the electrolyte balance, maintain the nutritional condition, isn't it? No, this is all the nurse's responsibility. Clear? So what are the goals of nursing care here? See, maintain the adequate cerebral perfusion. Okay, this is all done by the doctors and also the nurses. The senior nurse will do. So perfusion means what? The proper blood circulation in the brain. Okay, due to some administering some drugs. Okay, maintaining the nutrition, we can maintain this adequate brain circulation, cerebral perfusion. Also remain the normothermic, means not hyperthermia or not hypothermia, is a normal temperature we have to maintain. This is what remaining normothermic, and be free from the pain, discomfort and infection. The nurses should treat the pain also and the discomfort of the patient, as well as treat the infection. How? Maintaining the hygienic thing, giving the proper position, isn't it? No. Then attain the maximal cognitive and the motor and the sensory functions. We have to encourage the patient in doing his own functions, isn't it? No, day by day is not a sudden things. We have to give a prolonged nursing care, and this is what a long-term goal. Clear? No, this is all the nursing management. Now we'll see what are the basic care we have to provide for the unconsciousness patient. Okay. And very important thing, okay, before knowing the care, we'll see how to assess the unconsciousness. See, is very important, that we call Glasgow Coma Scale. You know one thing, for recording the temperature, isn't it? No, for recording the temperature, we are using the thermometer. This is a scale of measurement. We are using the thermometer. Why? To assess the degree of temperature, isn't it? No, the same thing only. We are using the scale that we call Glasgow Coma Scale. Glasgow Coma Scale. Okay, he is a person who invented this scale that we give his name only. This we call Glasgow Coma Scale to measuring the level of unconsciousness. Clear now? First degree, second degree, we are measuring, right? That we are using this Glasgow Coma Scale. This scale is neurological scale, is also called the neurological scale, that gives the reliable or objective records of the level of consciousness. Okay, what is the level of the patient consciousness? Okay, level of consciousness of a person for an initial as well as continuing assessment. Clear? For ICU, for every patient, as a nurse, she have to be record this Glasgow Coma Scale is a very, very important in exam purpose also. Keep it in mind. I will ask you in the test also. Okay, see what do you mean by Glasgow Coma Scale? Is also called a neurological scale to assess the level of consciousness. Clear? And this scale having the three components. One is eye opening, verbal response, and the motor response. Okay, I will show you the what is that, the scale chart I will show you, then you can understand easily. Okay, this is we call Glasgow Coma Scale. Okay, you just remember the total score is 15. How much? Total score is a 15 and having the three components. How much components? 3 components. Very good. See, first component, second component, third component. Okay, then first we call eye opening, then best verbal response, best motor response. Okay, this eye opening have a maximum of 4 points, best verbal response having the total of 5 points, and the best motor response is a 6 points. Then you consider the maximum points, 4 plus 5 plus 6. How much? Total is a 15. Isn't it? No, the 15 is the patient score, means is our full consciousness, isn't it? No, so now we'll see the each component once again. I will explain you. In the eye opening, if the patient is spontaneously opening his eye, then you will give the score of 4. If the patient is open his eye due to your speech, you say hello, open your eyes. That the patient is, due to your speech, the patient has opened the eye, that we call 3 you have to give. Okay, if the patient doesn't open his eye spontaneously, doesn't respond to your speech, then what you have to do? Pinch your patient. What happened? The pain will come, isn't it? No. For that pain, the patient opens his eye, then you have to give how much score? 2 you have to give. Okay, if the patient not responding to our speech, not responding to the pain, so that what indicates? No response. Okay, no response. The patient is not opening the eyes, then we have to give 1. The score is 1. Clear? No? Now just move to the next component, that is we call best verbal response. Best verbal response is the first point. The maximum score is how much here in the best verbal response? 5 is a maximum score. Means the patient is oriented to time, place and person. You should ask the patient, what is the time now and where you are present and what's your name. If the patient answer for these things, means what? The patient is aware of the surrounding, aware of the sense, isn't it? No, self-awareness is present. So for that you have to give the maximum score. How much? 5. Then the patient is confused. If you are asking the question, the patient is unable to respond properly, the patient has some confusion, then we have to give point as a 4. Then clear? No, 4 you have to give. If the patient having the inappropriate words, okay, inappropriate words, something is telling, not at all responding properly, something he was telling, no, ma'am, or I don't know. Is like that. If I say the inappropriate words, okay, something that we had to give how much score? Number 3 we have to give 3 score. Okay, 3 points. Then next is the patient is you are asking something. The patient is not at all speaking a single words, but you are doing some sounds. Like that. Okay, don't know. No. You're not saying any words, but you are making some sounds only. Like that. So that we call the patient is not at all speak properly also. Okay, some no confusion or something is there, but the patient not making any words, any speech, you making some sounds for your response, that we give 2. If the patient doesn't respond to anything, not opening his mouth, then you have to be give how much? 1. Clear? Understood? Very simple, isn't it? No. Next we'll move on to the third component, that is the best motor response. Motor means what? Moving no, movements through the legs and limbs, that we call motor system, isn't it? No. Okay, then what is the maximum score here? 6. Okay, now we'll see if the patient obeys your command. Means if you are telling the patient raise your hands, sit down, or open your eyes, like that. If you are telling something, then the patient obeys. He was doing your according to your command, then we have to give the maximum score, that is 6. If the patient not obey your command, but you are doing some pinching or doing something, then he moves localized pain. Okay, if you are moving his legs and if you are doing something due to the pain, okay, that we call 5. Clear, no? Then what happened, if you are giving or if you are pinching to a patient but not moving, but he was doing the flexion withdrawal from the pain. Once you are pinching, no, you are removing his hand, removing his head, removing his legs, then we call flexion withdrawal from the pain. Then we have to give the score of 4. Next, if the patient is doing abnormal flexion, or is also called decorticate. Okay, I will show you what is abnormal flexion, what is abnormal extension. I will show you. See, this is we call abnormal flexion. This is we call abnormal extension, or is also called decorticate, or is also called, what is this? Decerebrate. Okay, so if the patient, if you are for the pain, the patient is doing abnormal flexion, then what is the score we have to give? Okay, then we have to give how much? 3 we have to give, isn't it? No. If the patient you are giving some stimulus, then the patient is doing this abnormal extension, or we call the decerebrate, then we have to give how much score? 2 we have to give. Clear, no? So if the patient is not at all giving any response, no response, that we call 1. Clear, no? Understood? So the total score is 15. If the patient score maximum score, then we call 15 score, isn't it? No? This is called the scale. This we call Glasgow Coma scale. Clear, no? Understood? Then we'll see some interpretation now. See, interpretation means, see, highest score, that is 15 out of 15, we can say good orientation. The patient have full consciousness. Okay, if the patient score less than 8, or what we call the, if the Glasgow Coma scale is, we can say more than 8. Okay, more than 8 means 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, we can say, no, that we call the patient have some. Understood, no? That we, for example, if the patient have the Glasgow Coma scale of less than 8 or equal to 8, that indicates the patient have the severe brain injury. Clear? If the patient score 15 out of 15 is a good one, means more than 13, here we can say, isn't it? No? Now we'll see first. If the patient scores less than or equal to 8, then that indicates the patient have severe brain injury. If the patient, the Glasgow Coma scale, the score between 9 to 12, that indicates moderate brain injury. If the patient scores more than 13, okay, more than 13, that we call mild brain injury. Clear, no? If the patient is responding like 14 or 15, we can say the consciousness not that much pathologically happen in the brain, we can say 14 or 15. But the 13 or something will say that some injury is happen in the brain. This is what indicates. Understood? The maximum score is a 15. Okay, we can consider that 13 to 15 is a normal. Okay, but if the patient have some 13, okay, the more than 13 we can say some mild injury in the patient, or the 9 to 12 that we call moderate brain injury, and less than 8 or between the between the 3 to 8 the score will say the severe brain injury. Clear? If the patient scores 3, if the patient has scored the 3 means the patient brain is dead, but it was having some he was live. The patient is live, but the brain is dead if the patient scored 3. Clear, no? Understood? So this is we call the Glasgow Coma Scale. Clear? Okay, now we'll see what are the nursing management for the unconsciousness patient. Okay, for the unconscious patient, what are the nursing cares we have to give? Now we'll see one by one the basic care. Okay, first one is a bathing. This is what the bathing we have to give. Okay, give the bath to the patient at least 2 times per day. Okay, the minimum 2 nurses should bathe an unconscious patient. You should not give only a single. Don't do like that. You just ask the assistance from the other nurse also. It required the 2 nurses for the bath. Okay, and also should see whether with the turning and no, you should check the airway. One more important thing for the unconscious patient, you have always keep in mind, you have to check 3 things: A, B, C. What is A stand for? Airway. B stand for breathing. C stand for circulation. These 3 things is very vital. Okay, the nurses always keep one eye on a patient with unconsciousness. Airway is very important. You have to check for airway, any obstruction, any blockage. And for the breathing also very important. Check the respiration. And the circulation, check the pulses properly, whether the circulation is happening or what. Okay, clear, no? Okay, come to this bathing. Understood? The proper assessment of the condition of the skin must be done when giving a bed bath. Any ulcer is present, okay, or any integrity of a skin is very important. And also you check for any ulcer, back ulcer, we can say decubitus ulcer. Okay, then the sore is present or what. Just check the integrity of a skin is very important. Okay, then also air care should be not be neglected. Okay, weekly once or weekly twice you have to give the air bath also. Okay, this is what about the bathing. Then we see oral hygiene. This is very, very important, oral hygiene, because most of the 99 microorganisms is going to be affected in the oral cavity, isn't it? No, so is the most unsterile cavity in the body, that is we call oral cavity, isn't it? No, so the nurse should use a chlorhexidine. Okay, that is solution we can use for the oral care. And also the airway should be removed when providing the oral care. For the patient is if we are in the ventilator, no, of course all the unconscious patient we are keeping the ventilator. So giving the oral care, no, so you have to be remove this airway, then we have to perform the oral care. Okay, it should be cleaned and then reinserted. Once you remove the airway, that the airway also we have to be cleaned properly, then you have to reinsert it. Okay, then if the patient has an endotracheal tube, and the tube should be fixed alternatively on each side. Clear, no? Endotracheal tube means what? We are inserting the tube, the ventilator tube to the trachea, isn't it? No, that we call endotracheal tube for the ventilation purpose. So very careful while giving the oral care. No, you have to be along with the senior staff. Okay, you can't do yourself. Along with the assistants only you came, the practical thing only you came to know how to perform all those things. I will show you some videos. Okay, don't worry, you can get to know how to perform this practical. Okay, then the minimum of 4 hourly oral care is to reduce and potential of infection from the microorganisms. Very must. 4 hoursly you have to do. Every 4 hours. Every 4 hours we have to perform the oral hygiene for the patient. Clear? Also, not to damage the gingiva by using the excessive force. Okay, don't damage the gums. Clear? No, this is we call oral hygiene. Also, we have to give the eye care also. How to give eye care? Before giving eye care, just assess the eye properly. Okay, any or how the condition of pupil, what is the condition of sclera, what is the condition of cornea and all. Clear? No? Then the gentle cleaning with a gauze. No, with using a gauze with a 0.9% of a sodium chloride we can use. That is enough. Okay, you have to be clean properly. Using one stroke only, you have to be clean the eyes. Clear? The corneal damage can result if any eyes remaining open for the longer time. You should, very important, you should always see any prolonged, sometimes no, the patient is not closing his eye, opening eye only, he have a coma. Okay, for that patient you have to be instill some artificial tears we can use, or otherwise we can use some eye care drops. Okay, the physician order only, we have to take this eye care drops. Okay, we have to instill that drop. If the patient is opening his eye for a prolonged time, no, that cause the corneal damage. Okay, if the you just try to close the eyelids, or if the patient remaining eye opening state, you have to instill the eye soothing drops. Clear? No? Then the tape can be used to close the eye. Sometimes you can use some tape to close the eyelids. Is very important. This is all about the eye care. Like that, the nasal care also and ear care also. Nasal care, you have to clean the nasal mucosa with a gauze and water. Okay, and we are using using the artery forceps. In the fundamental lab, we are artery forceps is there. No, the same artery forceps we are using the nasal care as well as the oral care also. Different tray we have to use. For oral care is a different tray. Nasal care is a different tray. Using the articles, you have to use the gloves. Okay, and using that gauze, different gauze. Okay, using that instruments, we have to care all those things. Okay, then the nasogastric tube placement damage to the nasal mucosa. Okay, whatever the tubings are there with under the senior nurse, you have to be care the patient. Okay, then the ear care. Clean around the oral canal. Although the care must be taken not to push anything inside the ear is very important. Isn't it? No, care anything, you have to care very gentle. Okay, also you have to care for nutrition is important. Okay, diet is very, very important, isn't it? No, what are the diet you may give for your patient? Okay, under the prescription of the dietitian only, we have to give for unconsciousness. Okay, the nutritionist know, the dietitians know what are the depending upon the patient condition, they prescribe the medications. Either medications also, the what is we call the parental nutrition also, IV nutrition we have to give, or the patient have the nasogastric tube. No, in that tube also we have to give the nutrition for them, the patient. Okay, so the diet prescribed nutrition based on the individual requirements, isn't it? No, specifically to meet the energy need, tissue repair, the replacement of a fluid loss to maintain the basic life functions, isn't it? No, so we had to check the proper nutrition level for the patient is very important. And for the risk of injury is more for the unconsciousness patient. To prevent the injury is one of the most responsibility of the nurse. That is, side rails must be kept whenever the patient is not receiving the direct care. See, always you keep the patients along with the side rails. What is side rails? In the bed, around the corners, we have some restraints is there, that we call side rails. Always you closed whenever the care is not given. When you are giving the care, just down your side rails, then you have to give the care for the patient. Clear? The seizure precaution must be taken. If the patient have any seizures, he may injure himself. So if the doctors are telling be careful is a particular patient, he may get seizure. In that condition, the nurse should take the seizure precaution very carefully. They have to tie the ants. Okay, as a nurse, you have to tie gently the ants. You should not do any actions or any movement that we can prevent the injury. Then adequate support to the limbs and the head must be given when moving and turning an unconscious patient. Extra pillows is very necessary for the unconsciousness patient. Okay. Then over sedation should be avoided. Clear? Over sedation should be avoided to the patient. Why? That may hamper the respiration. That may cessate. That may stop the inspiration. Okay? That may alter the respiration. In that case, should avoid the sedation. Assess the need for the restraint. If a patient require any restraint, we can use for them, but very gently. Also, impaired bowel and bladder function. The patient doesn't know when to go for bowel function, when to is very difficult for them, isn't it? No. So for that we have to assess for the constipations and the bladder distension. The patient doesn't know. You have to assess for bladder distension. Below the umbilical, the bladder bulging we can see, that we call bladder distension. In that, what we had to get, the catheter care is very important. And for the constipation, we have to use some stool softener and laxative we can use. Okay, always we have to be auscultate the bowel sounds. Okay, then so many catheters, the bladder catheterization have to done. To maintain the urine output chart and urine color, we had to be assessed. Initiate the bladder training as soon as consciousness has retained. Okay, once the patient is having the conscious level, we have to initiate the bladder training for the patient. Clear? No? These are all the care of the bowel and bladder. Risk for the contracture. Contracture means what? Contracture is a hardening of the hardness will present in the pressure points, in the elbow points. What are the pressure points? This is your assignment. Okay, you have to be discussed in the group. What are the pressure points? Clear? So then also this what are the how to prevent this contracture? See, in the pressure points, if the prolonged rest in the bed. Okay, in the pressure points, the patient may get some hardness. Okay, some hardness will present that we call contracture. For example, if any injuries happen, we have some hardening of the what we call some hard exudates we are getting that we call contracture. The hardening of the particular parts in the pressure points. Okay, especially the limbs. Okay, so for that, how to prevent this contracture? Maintain the extremities in functional positions by providing the proper support. Also, we have to do some passive exercises for the patient. Okay, proper support is important. Then remove the supportive devices every 4 hours. Okay, if you are giving some pillows, some any comfortable device, you have to remove for every 4 hours and turn back to the patient and attaining back massage is very important. Okay, then food support should be provided. Clear? Every 4 hourly, we have to be remove the supporting devices, and also every 2 hours you have to give some back massage. Back care is very important to remove this contracture as well as the bed sores. Okay, the final slide is the nurses must, what we have to do, show respect to the patient. Don't consider the patient is unconscious. We can do anything. Okay, we can do mall handle. We can do the neglect care. Should not do like that. Whether the patient is conscious, unconscious, our responsibility is to show the respect. Clear? Is very important. That is what ethics of a nurse. Then encourage the family to contribute to the care of their loved ones. Teach the family members how to give the care, how to feed the patient. Clear? Then offer the privacy both the client and the family deserves. Always, whatever you are giving the care, you have to maintain the privacy. Clear? Then also encourage the stimulation by massage. Okay, you have to arouse the patient consciousness by giving some stimulations. How? Doing the massage, combing, washing the hair, playing some music, some radio, and reading the books, bringing in the perfume flowers, update them with the family news. Like that, we can arouse the unconscious patient. Clear? No? This is all about the nurse's care in the unconscious patient. Clear? So we'll see in the next class. If you have any doubt, please clarify in the group. Okay? Thank you.